Cloudcast Media. Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, and when I see this name on the agenda, it just sparks a fire in my heart. It's the Emilio Nares Foundation, joined by a friend, a colleague, just a cool cat, and that's Diane Nares. She is the co-founder with her wonderful spouse, Richard, who is sitting in the studio, but he's not going to say anything today, to my disappointment. Thank you very much. But how you doing, Diane?
I'm doing great.
It's so good to see you. How you doing? Very good?
It's really good to see you too, and I'm doing great.
And the family's good and good health and all that business?
Gratefully so, yeah. Just keeping our prayers going for all of our friends who have been in the fires up in Los Angeles.
Yeah, that's been a tough one. Joined by your colleague, got to know her. She is off the charts, very cool. Elsa Roth is the executive director of the foundation. How you doing?
Hi, Drew. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. And how's life treating you?
It's going great. It's a little bit crazy. Again, our heart goes to everybody in LA. We are with you.
Good. Well, we'll start with you, Diane. Talk about why this foundation came to be.
Yeah, it's amazing. We are in our 22nd year. Isn't that incredible?
It is.
And it's really been a pleasure getting to know you more, Drew, throughout all these years you've been with
You're very
us.
kind.
So thank you. Yeah, for Richard and I, about 2.5 years after our son, our only child, Emilio, died from leukemia after a 3-year journey, Richard and I just started looking at one another and saying, okay, what now? We know so much about this world of childhood cancer, and it was impossible for us to walk away from it. We both had full-time jobs, but not having other children to care for, we had time on our hands, and we thought, what are we going to do to make a difference and help? That's what started.
Well, I mean, it takes courage, takes bravery, takes everything in between here. We're preaching to the congregation on this. And what struck me the most, first I had you folks on, your absolute passion for we're moving forward. We're going to be changing lives, and you are changing lives, to say the least on that. But wasn't transportation a sort of a big part of what you folks do? Talk about that.
Oh, absolutely. That was the really became the flagship program for ENF. And so for Richard and I, we were able to just get up and go back into the hospital and let the social workers and the nurses know that if there's any families that we could assist and help in any way, to please contact us. But it started with all of the weekly clinic visits with Emilio, and then the overnight stays for several days on end. And Richard and I would both sit and talk to parents, and they would say, oh, we're so exhausted. We actually had to get up at 3 a.m. to get our daughter on the first bus with a transfer to get to Rady Children's Hospital for treatment from somewhere in the county of San Diego. And that was because they had only one car, and one of the parents had to use it for work and getting the other kids where they had to go. So that seemed inconceivable and incredibly not right. Like the justice of it all came into play.
Well, and I know when we first started getting to know each other, was how many kids missed appointments. Which you can't be missing an appointment, or you shouldn't be missing an appointment on that. And you saw that. Also, when did you get involved with the foundation? Yes.
It was now a year that I've been with Richard and my partners in good. I always call them that because we truly are partnering. And it's my honor for a year now to be leading this organization with their support and the board of directors and really all the community to make sure that we continue to honor Emilio's legacy, but also we continue to serve more children throughout Southern Cal.
Right. Just talk about some of the activities and the things that you folks do.
So we're very excited because, transportation has been our legacy program. And, it's still a need in the community right now. And what we realized in the last year, we did a community assessment, and part of what we're doing is expanding the number of services we provide. So we are expanding our family resource center. So now what we do when a child gets diagnosed, social workers, they're overwhelmed. They have so many cases. Family have so many needs. And, San Diego's, there's a lot of needs around housing, shelter, food, all of that. So what we do is we're an extension of the social workers. We have a really great partnership with Rady's Children's Hospital and Children's Hospital Orange County. And what we do, we sit down with families one-on-one and we say, how can we support you? Is it shelter, transportation, food, legal aid, education? Did you lose your job? How can we help? And so we've been doing that and then expanding on our programs. And the idea is that we offer this continuum of care from the moment a child gets diagnosed. We support them during treatment, and also when a child completes treatment, how can we make sure that their family heals and they get reintegrated into everyday life? So that's our next step at ENF.
Yeah, no, that's huge, and we all know that. And I think, and Diane, you and Richard and I talked about this, and also Elsa when we first got to know her, is that the lives that you change. Obviously, it's the person that is getting the beneficiary of the transportation and getting treated, whatever. But it's, as you and Richard know, because you're talking to the parents at Rady's, it's the parents, it's the siblings, it's the aunts, the uncles, the friends, and all that business. And you really, we say it all the time on the show, but we can't really say it enough. Mm-hmm. It's not just that one person. We're chatting with Diane Nares. She is the co-founder of Emilio Nares Foundation. We're going to chat about the book you wrote too, if that's okay, mm-hmm. in a few minutes, joined by her phenomenal executive director, Elsa Roth, the ED of the foundation. I'm Drew Schlosberg. You're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest running community podcast. We're now in our 19th year. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, 60 years of doing great things in the community in so many different areas on this. Talk about the book.
Thank you. Yes, my book is called His Place at the Table. And the title came from, of course, knowing that there'd always be a place at the table for Emilio. So I have been a journal writer all my life since I was a little girl, but this is the first book I've ever written, and it's a memoir. And it focuses on who Emilio was, who this precious little person was. And it also is very much focusing on childhood cancer because, as I mentioned before, it just is so unfair and unjust that a child would be diagnosed with cancer. How could that be? So it's stories about the parents and the children whom we met throughout our 3-year journey. And just what a special group of people these children are and their families. And it's also a lot about grief and healing, too.
Right. One of the chapters I opened to was UCLA Medical Center, where my dad taught medicine. And so obviously I think I knew that before as well. And it is, the journey is something, and you folks offer a lot of hope to people and so forth in this area. How, you mentioned transportation was the bread and butter. I like what Elsa was saying now is sort of, what can we do after they have been treated in their home or whatever, the case may be. What other organizations, I'll start with you on this, Elsa, and then you can add to it, Diane, that you work with?
So we're very grateful to work with several nonprofit organizations, sister organizations, Chicano Federation, MAC, right now, True Care. There's so many different organizations out there. Yes, Operation Hope. Because again, while we focus on children undergoing treatment for life-threatening diseases, there's a lot of needs out there, right? There's financial hardship even before the diagnoses. Sometimes we've had cases even of domestic violence, of I lost my job. There's so many elements to this. And then adding on to that is the lack of access to equitable health care.
Right.
So as an organization, we're looking at addressing all social determinants of health. It's yes, you were diagnosed. Let's get you through that. Make sure you have quality health care, that you understand your rights also, right? What can you ask? What are the questions to ask your doctor? And not only that, but what else can we support you with? And now, again, as I mentioned, once you complete treatment, we just are starting this year our Healing Through Nature program. So now we're addressing mental health. And it's making sure, to your point, it's how can we make sure that the whole family heals after? Because you've gone through trauma, you've gone through very, very difficult situations, and siblings, again, the cousins, everybody is impacted by this emotionally, right? You either are upset because you went through this situation and you didn't get the attention at one point because your sibling got the attention because they needed it at that point, or the other point is you feel guilty because my sibling went through this. So we want to make sure that this bond is we reintegrate the family, they heal, and also that we create support systems for the parents so they can to talk to other parents about the situation and heal.
Yeah, I think, listen, you can't move more than 1 inch in this world we're in now and not talk about mental health. And if you don't know what's going on with mental health in this world, then you're not on our planet. You are, some other solar system. Listen, there's enough stress as it is, and now you add this to the mix and so forth. Just by, reducing it a little has got to be huge in that area. With the families that you are working with, start with you on this, Diane. How many of them actually go out and speak on your behalf and meet with groups? And I'm sure a ton of them do.
A ton of them do. That's probably one of the most beautiful and gratifying outcomes of ENF, past, present, future, is that the parents, they're so grateful for the support. And ENF, under Elsa's care now, with all this multifaceted vision that she has in the present and for the future, it's all coming into place. And it's so gratifying to have moms and dads come back after many years to Richard and I that we've spoken to that come back and their children have survived and gotten through treatment. And then they just say, we never, ever, ever forget the experience of ENF and what ENF was able to do.
Yeah, and we come back from break. Want to chat about, have you expanded it up into other counties in Orange County? Are you looking at even, other places? I'm going to have you answer for Richard on this. Is he off on another 1,800-mile run? Raising money for this, we actually did podcasts, if I'm not mistaken, while he was on his run, and so forth. But no, seriously, want to chat about that. And as always, Elsa and Diane, just let me know what you would like our listeners to do. Listen, money does not grow on trees. So we know capital is very important, volunteering or whatever the case may be. When we return with our good friends from the Emilio Nares Foundation, I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union for 6 decades, doing great things in San Diego County. We will be right back.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. You're listening to another edition of the Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, with our good friends, really wonderful people, to the nth degree, from the Emilio Nares Foundation, Diane Nares, the co-founder, joined by the executive director of the foundation, Elsa Morales Roth. So I'm going to jump a little ahead on this. So you've heard us talk about your co-founder, that wonderful spouse of yours, Richard, still running long distance, guy looks like he's never aged ever, nor do you for that matter. And same with you, Elsa, on it. Richard did what? Was it an 1,800 mile?
It was actually 1,700 miles.
Sorry, I added 100 miles to the run. So Richard, don't get tired even thinking about I added 100 to it. But he did this and ran and was visiting children's hospitals. Did he start in Seattle? Where did he start?
It started in Seattle, exactly.
Okay.
So he literally, it was mapped out for him to run from Seattle to San Diego.
That's right.
And the purpose was to raise funds for ENF, which he and his team did, and to also raise awareness of childhood cancer and the programs of ENF.
Right.
So I and the team, and I met whenever I could, but I was working, they would actually make presentations at each children's hospital, of which there were 9. I hope I'm correct on that number, but 9 children's hospitals down the coast. And would bring the shirts, the beautiful Healing Tab shirts that have access to the portacath for chemotherapy without kids having to take their shirts off, which was always a horrifying experience for all of the kids, no matter what age.
I remember that. Yeah.
So raised funds along the way. It was very successful.
Now, on the way down, I mean, because you folks are more this in San Diego County. Am I right or wrong on that?
Are more what?
Are you in Orange County too?
Yes, Orange County as well.
Right. But did that come from the run of Richards? That is he coming down, now he's making contacts with them?
Well, Orange County was already set up
at
Chalk Children's Hospital, and then contacts were made along the way, of which Elsa can refer to as to the growth of Los Angeles and anywhere north or west, or east, not west, but east.
Yeah, talk about that, Elsa.
Yes, so part of our growth, so we actually serve several counties, and a lot of people don't know we're a small but very mighty organization.
Of course you are.
So we're actually San Diego, Imperial County, Orange County, Riverside, San Bernardino, and South LA. So during this expansion, we're actually we're hiring drivers, we're hiring really new staff because the growth has been. We're actually very happy because in the last year we've grown because we've been promoting our services more.
Fantastic.
So the growth is phenomenal. We're going into different partnerships to make sure we expand, we co-locate. And as part of this, again, going to social determinants of health, I have to give a shout out to Mission Fed because one of the biggest things that we're bringing is financial education to our families.
Well, that's fantastic.
So I do want to give that shout out to Mission Fed for being our partner in this space. And so as we grow the wealth of our programs, we're growing our partnerships throughout Southern California.
Yeah, no, that's and what I was saying is that I can't imagine there wouldn't be a community, whether it's in California or in other parts of the country, that wouldn't want an ENF. I mean, it's needed. In that aspect of it. Do you know, Diane, of any other organizations that are doing what you're doing?
Oh, no one is doing transportation.
Which to me is sometimes it's the simpler things in life to think of. How come we didn't think about this, for God's sake?
Right.
I mean, heck, what was it? The analogy I love using, and I'm not sure if it's accurate or not, but I've been going with it for years, so we'll call it accurate. What the wheel was invented in 3000 BC and probably luggage in, 1st century BC, and we didn't put the wheel in the suitcase till 1950 or something. I go, really? It took us that long to figure out that we should probably have wheels on suitcases? And you would think, of course it makes sense, that this is an issue with families that are underrepresented of trying to find a way, not so they don't have to go to 17 different bus transfers to do this. It would seem so obvious on this. I'll start with you on this, Diane, then pivot over to Elsa. So what can our listeners do? What can we do to support the great work you're already doing as you expand?
Well, certainly any donation matters, and it matters greatly what it can do for ENF's programs. And it's very easy. We have a website, enfhope.org, and people can make donations. They can learn more about the organization. And, there's various platforms and ways throughout the rest of the year of events that are being put together to introduce ENF. But when you said this before, it is amazing. Someone said to me just a few years ago, ENF is like that little gem that nobody knows about. And that can't be anymore.
Right.
Everybody needs to know.
Well, obviously, I'm not doing my job. But
you are doing your job. Yes,
Thank you, Drew.
I got to do a better job on that, I'll tell you right now.
No, you are.
Yeah. No, listen, that's why we been doing the show, is that you got to shout it out once, twice, 507 times. And then you're going to find that listener that light bulb goes off. And then you guys know this. I'm preaching to the congregation on this. Elsa, what else can we do for you?
So other than donations, we also are looking for volunteers, to be honest. Throughout the year, we have toy drives, Thanksgiving drives, back to school drives, and in a lot of, even the Healing Through Nature program, we are going to be looking for volunteers that want to interact with the children and the parents that we serve. We're looking for people that do alternative healing practices, breath work, all of that, because we want to bring in those type of practices to that program. So if you're in that space and would like to share your knowledge and your healing practices, more than welcome to join us in this journey.
So how'd they get a hold of you?
So just website, like Ms. Diane said, enfhope.org. Right. Or just feel free to call us 619-860-9598.
Very, very good. So back to the book, okay? His Place at the Table, a personal, public, and spiritual love story of Emilio, written by Diane. How do they get the book?
On Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble, and bookshop.org. And then it is in a couple of our libraries too.
Right.
It's in the
and so,
library.
And I think the book, it talks about just ideas for parents as well, of what they can do, how to cope with this as well.
Sure, definitely.
Yeah. And so, and we all know, hearing from the learnings, and this is terrific. When were you aware that Amelia had this condition?
Wow. Emilio's journey, as the other children, it really develops in, for leukemia, which is what Emilio had, develops in a cold and a fever. And so a child can have a consistent cold. And when they're in preschool, that's, really obvious that you go to preschool, you're going to come home and be contagious to others. But that's how it started. And it took us a couple months before we had blood work done that showed that it was leukemia.
Right. And so, of course, for young parents that may not know this aspect of it, here's a case. Get the stuff checked out, don't have to panic on things, but, don't wait in that area. And obviously, Emilio's been an inspiration to certainly, obviously, you and Richard and Elsa as well, but to, everybody else. When you talk to, some of the parents on this that have gone through this journey, and they'd come back and talk to you, how are they also spreading the word out? Are they doing it through Facebook? Are they doing it through Instagram? They're working with Elsa on this?
Oh, sure. Lots of social media, and they'll talk about ENF and how it benefits, and definitely with Elsa as well and her team. But something interesting is that we did a People magazine interview, and that came out in November. And it also interviewed two other moms. It interviewed myself about the book, and then interviewed two other moms about what ENF meant to them. And that is a beautiful article, because that's what they did. They just was telling the world, everyone, all about the benefits of ENF support and what they do.
Well, there are Emilios all over the place, not just here, throughout the world. And there's not too many Richard and Diane's and Elsa's. We all know that. And but certainly the bravery and the courage to do it is phenomenal. So what we would love to do is, one, we love seeing you. I'm so glad Richard came in. I'm going to make him go on the air next time he comes in, though. That's okay.
Absolutely. Plan the next run.
That's right.
He'll tell you about the next project.
Yeah. Well, what I'd love, that's for one. And two, as you know, we've, not to try to break any HIPAA laws and all that. If you have a family that has benefited from what you folks have done over the years, and they want to share their story because of ENF, that's to us.
I have a very specific story. That's
beautiful.
Phenomenal.
Good. All right. So you heard this now. Elsa said, yes, that's going to happen. So we'll tee you up at that. All right. Elsa, you look great. Good to see you. Thank you for the great work you've done. It's amazing. 1 year, I thought it was 2 decades that she's been working for you.
She's phenomenal.
On the amount of work you've done. Diane, you're a pleasure, as is your husband, Richard, on this. We can't have you on enough. We can't talk about enough of what you folks have done for so many families. And we're going to look forward to having you make a return appearance.
Thank you. We'd love that.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. We hope you've enjoyed this interview with the Emilio Nares Foundation. Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show is the nation's longest-running community podcast. 19 years we've been doing this now. Wow. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. Just a phenomenal organization. 6 decades of doing great things. In San Diego County, from literacy to art, food insecurity, and everything in between. We hope you enjoyed the interview.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.